to give the people what they want. Welcome to another edition of Power to the People, Buffalo, Atlanta, every place in between, to the west and the east. Thanks for tuning in to another exciting edition of Power to the People. Listen, I want you to call somebody, let them know we're on the air, because a little later we're going to be having a special guest on, powerhouse woman, an attorney, and she is with a new group that is is formed, but kind of new to the public scene. They're going to be doing some things and are doing some things in Grider neighborhood, Delaware Grider neighborhood, and around as it deals with economics and education and teaching entrepreneurs. So it's something exciting that I think is important for people to hear. So let somebody know if you haven't heard of this organization that we're going to be talking to the folks in the organization. And the organization's name is Intersect Buffalo. If you haven't heard about it, you want to hear about it, this might be your first time hearing about it, but we want you to hear about it right here. Again, welcome to everybody on the show. Listen, I got a few things locally to talk about. Now, those of you in the Atlanta area, we're going to be talking about some of the stuff here, be talking about some of the stuff over there. But before we get to that, I have a little bit of vegan guilt. I'll call it vegan guilt. Perfect. Vegan guilt. Because I have been eating, I shouldn't say vegan because I've never been a vegan. I did learn a lot. Like when people would say they were vegan, or they were vegetarian. I didn't know that vegans didn't eat eggs.
Any animal byproduct.
No animal byproduct, no milk, none of that. So I was plant-based, but been doing a lot more plant-based. But I had already said when the summertime comes, I made some ribs.
Hey, listen, we have to, right? I've been telling people I'm about 90% there.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had an animal byproduct in probably over a month now.
Wow.
I've changed a lot of.
Not even a byproduct? No eggs, milk?
Nope, no eggs, no milk, no cheese. I'm not really a huge cheese person anyway, but yeah, like everything's just been vegetables and a lot of the vegan meat substitutes. I'm eating more of those. I really like the sausage, the crumbles for all of my other meals. So yeah, I'm almost all the way over, because I ain't gonna lie. If I'm unprepared and I'm over somewhere and they got some wings and that's it, and I may have a couple wings. But stomach wise, I know I can't overdo it. So
yeah, I learned that lesson early. Okay. And the hardest part for me is when I'm traveling.
Of course.
Because you don't have all these options.
No.
After a while, you get tired of a Caesar salad.
Yeah.
And so you don't have all these options. Then you go back and, I didn't have my plain days where my stomach is. I'm like, oh, my gosh. Was in Barbados recently. It ain't no vegan options in Barbados.
Wow.
And so I'm trying to do better. Again, I am not vegan. I am not vegetarian. Trying to just do some different things in my life to live a little better.
I was going to say, just trying to hang out here a little bit longer. That's all.
Just a little longer. Our guest coming up brought me a gift, and it was bananas, really good-looking bananas, but she did put some Reese's. But Reese's does have a plant-based option.
They do.
They do have a plant-based.
They also have a. I know people probably won't. They also have a zero sugar option.
Yeah, I tried that.
Yeah,
no, it didn't work. So somebody bought me a plant-based. I did like the plant-based. I didn't really notice much different. They bought another, and it was zero, and they thought that's what I'm like, nah. I said, I'll try it.
Yeah.
I tried it, and it was like, nah, this ain't happening.
You can feel the difference. You can taste the difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, summertime, be safe out there, but enjoy it, especially now Atlanta. We got a little longer of better weather. Buffalo, we catching up. We catching up. So it ain't bad. But, been hot enough I could have the top down and enjoy. Lot going on here. So there's this article in the Buffalo News from June 10th, in which some people are having a fit about a new housing development in a what I would call a desirable location.
Yes.
Now, we know in Buffalo and in Atlanta, there is an affordable housing shortage.
Right.
Huge affordable housing shortage. In Atlanta, they're building some new affordable housing recently that the mayor announced. Buffalo having the same problem. And so there is this area on the waterfront called Canal Side,
Yes.
where the old canals were. Well, it's still there, but where they operated. And it is the government has put in, the federal government, state government has put in hundreds of millions of dollars to revitalize this area. It has restaurants now. It has a children's museum. It has a merry-go-round, antique merry-go-round. There's a hotel based there.
Paddle boats. Ice skating in the winter. Yeah.
Ice skating.
Yeah.
People getting suntans.
Yes.
And
some poodles and shih tzus and everything.
Got all that there now.
Yeah.
And so near that property, there was already a government subsidized housing high rise. I think it's 3 of them, Marine Drive.
Yes, three or four buildings, and like you said, for a visual, think of the military project, the military family projects they built in the early 20th century. So it's the brick high rise.
It's good times.
Yeah,
it's good times. Now they have redone them on the inside.
On the inside, yes.
But outside, temporary layoff, good times.
Yeah.
What is it? Easy credit
rip-off.
Good times. All the words I didn't know because I thought it said easy credit, something I don't know. Hustling and surviving, good time. That's how the outside looks. Now, when I was council member, for those of you who don't know me or don't know this, I was the council member of this area and I was council president. So in the past, when this area started being developed, they wanted to get rid of.
Right. Yep.
Some people wanted to get rid of, say, kick them out, send them somewhere else. We don't want this subsidized units on our waterfront.
Yes.
I fought against it. Other people fought against it. It did not happen. Now they're supposed to be putting in millions of dollars into rehabbing this place. Now, I want to say this. Though those high rises have been there, nothing that I know of major has happened.
No.
People ain't getting robbed on the streets, I'm sure sometime, but not all the time. It didn't turn into something that they thought.
Nothing probably more than what happens when you have a lot of people living in a small area.
Let's go to church.
Yeah.
So now there's this article because there's a place that's in the area called the Odd Block where the Memorial Auditorium, which used to be our largest gathering place where the Buffalo Braves played,
and the hockey team.
It was torn down, and it's the last big piece of land down there. And a company who got the bid to redevelop it in the beginning said, allegedly, that they were going to do some affordable and some market rate apartments, I mean full price. Well, they have now allegedly announced that they are going to be doing 100% subsidized and accepting Section 8.
Oof.
So 5 developers in that who have projects in that area hired an attorney to now go against it, saying that the project, I quote, developer has quietly changed the nature of the prominent project. It's a $190 million project, and the original focus was predominantly market rate. And now that they are switching, allegedly, they said that 75% of the planned apartments will now be low-income housing, accepting Section 8 vouchers instead of 30%. And these prominent developers, who many of them I know, are losing their mind.
Yeah.
Because all they can see is you're bringing Section 8 and low income down to where we're walking our shih tzus.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think if you believe in the stereotype, then of what that level of housing residents bring, then that I could. I'm not saying I agree with it, but that's their concern. Like everything that you've been told and shown in movies about anyone living in a government subsidized housing, that's what they're fearing. And that's what they think is coming to the prestigious waterfront. I don't know if Atlanta has a waterfront or a riverfront, but most cities they build up their waterfront as a tourist attraction, and so there is some concern. I'm sure beyond just them in that area.
I agree. Now, in transparency, I have property down there. Church has property down there, and I had to fight sometime with my neighbors in the other complex and even in my own about wanting to not have any subsidized housing down that way. And this has been my point. I stay to this point and I stand on it 10 toes down. Water is not just for rich people.
Mm-hmm.
Water should not just be accessible for rich people or wealthy people or well-to-do people or secure people. I get it. Tourist attractions, you want to preserve as tourist attractions.
Right.
But the way you do that is you make sure that there are rules in place. You make sure that they are enforced across the board.
Right.
Because we know that sometimes rules are enforced heavier depending on who is not only enforcing them, but who they're enforcing it on.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have areas around here like Cheektowaga where I don't care who you are, if you go through Cheektowaga, make sure your registration is right.
Yep.
Make sure you just already know, have on your seatbelt.
Yep.
Because you might get pulled over.
And there's other parts that it's a sundowner. If you're a little too dark, you want to be out before the sun go down.
So you know that this certain things are not tolerated. And I'm not talking about cops who are just trying to hurt people. I'm talking about people just doing their job. You going through the stop sign, you know that you're going to get pulled over there. They're not going to ignore it. And so I think what is wild is we are still having this fight in Western New York about the have-nots and where they should and could live. Now, one of the things I do agree with the developers is if we gave you the green light, if everybody gave you the green light, and this is what you said you were going to do, if you switch up the project that drastically, you got to come back to the community.
I agree.
You as much as I am for affordable housing wherever we can get it, at the end of the day, when you switch up a project that has kind of been green lighted by council, green lighted, and I don't even know if council would have had the green light this, depending on who the landowner is. But if it has been green lighted all the way through, and the community has bought into it, and now you're going to switch this project this drastically, whether it was for affordable housing or you decided you were going to put a liquor store there, whatever it is, when it's this big of a change, you need to be coming back humbly to say, here are the problems, and here's what we'd like to do. Now that, I do believe they're right. But there is this, one of them says, we laud, and let's see who is the quote on this, I'm sorry. We laud affordable housing in Western New York. The group wrote, citing its support for the nearby, and I'm reading from the Buffalo News, Marine Drive Apartments, the one we were telling you about, and Commodore Perry home expansion, which is, that ain't there. You gotta walk a little bit.
There's a few blocks away.
And they really built that up.
Yes.
Of course you okay with that.
Right.
But Penrose's plan for this prime canal side location is misleading and contrary to the original canal side plan. Quote, and this is from Larry Quinn, one of the developers, or he's working for Golisano, who Golisano is a very wealthy man out of, he owns Paychecks out of Rochester, and he just bought the old Buffalo News and building and put a Golisano Institute in it. So this is what Larry Quinn says. People are shocked. There's always an expectation that this would be a market rate housing area. He says, are you really going to end up with a place filled with Section 8 certificates? You are not going to rebuild Buffalo this way.
That's tough, and that's where you lose a lot of any support you had from me on your concerns is you lost. If you would have stuck to it's concentrating low income housing.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get with that argument, and we probably need to look at it. That comment is now you're showing your true colors.
Yeah, that comment is a little. This is where I think where everybody starts to divide.
Yes,
because it's like you're saying you don't want Section 8 people around. What does that mean?
Mm-mm.
How does that look? How are you prejudging?
Yeah.
What Section 8 people look like or will look like,
right,
who is in that facility?
Yes.
And so, I've always been one to say, work together.
Mm-hmm.
Let's figure it out together. But don't exclude people who might not have the income of other people
Right.
from a public waterway.
Yes.
They should be able to enjoy it. And if they do something wrong, just like everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
it'll get a reputation that they don't play down there.
Absolutely.
And they have had problems down there,
Mm-hmm.
and it has been taken care of. It is a place where you have African American of Wars
Yep.
monument.
Yep.
It's a place where you have the Naval Park. It is a waterway where those who are enslaved in Canada even
Yes.
would come through. So at the end of the day, now it can't be exclusively for one type of people.
And let's be honest, there has been, like you said, there's been their own issues at Canal Side to the fact that we had to put a police substation down there. So let's not act like without Section 8, it's just pristine and everything else down there.
Absolutely. And if you look at Atlanta, and where some of Atlanta's attractions are, they're neighborhoods that surround them. That are struggling.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, I think that many people in Atlanta are saying we need more affordable housing
Yep.
in better communities also.
Yep.
Don't just concentrate us off to one side and leave us off to one side like we don't deserve to live on the land also.
Well, and it's not just here in Atlanta. One of the famous ones is in L.A. You go a few blocks off of Rodeo Drive, you're in Compton. So
let's talk about Washington, D.C.
Yes.
Walk not far from the White House. Walk not far from the White House. And you might not have your J's,
Right.
depending on what time. You see the president said, we cleaning this up.
We're cleaning all of it up.
Right? So it's not odd to have these two communities living. Thursday, there was a vote in Congress.
Yeah.
Vote in Congress. I think you got the article.
Yeah.
I mean, folks, don't miss this vote because basically it stops something in its tracks that the president would like, but the Dems and a few of the Republicans were able to stop it.
So this is from the New York Post, and it's an article entitled "House Votes Down FISA FISA Extension as Lawmakers Revolt Grows over Bill Pute's pick as the Director of National Intelligence." So it says the House voted down a bill yesterday that would have extended the intelligence community warrantless surveillance powers by 3 weeks. This measure, which needed a 2/3 vote to pass, failed to even get a simple majority, with 198 voting in favor to 18 against. 19 Republicans voted against the extension, while 7 Democrats and an independent voted for it. And here's the details of what the agency, or that section of the agency, does. The spying authority, known as Section 702 of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, will expire tonight at 11:59 unless Congress approves the extension. So far, lawmakers have refused to do so in protest of President Trump's appointing the federal housing regulator, Bill Butte, as acting Director of National Intelligence. And when we were talking about this off air, it's just so much get ready to happen in this country, and to not, and this agency is not supposed to be looking inward. It's supposed to be identifying threats and surveilling threats outside. But
so basically, they're supposed to be spying outside.
Yes.
And right now, they don't have to have a warrant.
Yes.
Because of this, and they want to extend that. That they don't have to have a warrant. They could just go and spy without anybody giving them the authorization
Yes.
to. And that's what this is about.
Yeah.
At a time when here in Atlanta, there is about to be the World Cup and other things that are going to be going on that there indeed may be a need.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean they can't, but they will now have to go
to
through
a judge
to get a warrant for what it is that they want to do.
Yeah, and there's a political piece. There's a political piece to this as well, because it says Plute has served as the director of Federal Housing Finance Agency. Don't know what that has to do with intelligence, but since March of last year, during his tenure, he launched probes and in some cases made criminal referrals of Trump foes, including our New York State Attorney General Letitia James, who's been on this show, Senator Adam Schiff from California, and the Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook. Trump suggested that Plute would have only been in the role for a short period of time and would investigate, here it is, rigged elections, raising fears that the White House would try to weaponize the intelligence community ahead of the midterm elections.
It's all politics. It's all partisan politics. And we are playing, I think, and I'm talking about the United States, a dangerous game.
Very dangerous.
Half of the world cannot stand us.
No.
We're the bully of the world right now, or acting like the bully of the world. Sooner or later, somebody, like we get surprised when they do something. Sooner or later, and without the intelligence, I don't think that there should be just unfeigned intelligence. I think that some of this has to be reined in.
Yes, it does.
And the purpose of us having a Congress, the purpose of us having votes, it cannot be that one man can declare war based on his assumptions or his attitude that night or how many gummies he had.
Or how much McDonald's he's done eaten. He's just doing,
Come on. So something's got to give. I do think that across the board, I'm waiting on what may happen.
Yeah.
Some say it may be a cyber attack. Some say it could be chemical warfare.
Yep.
I think that most of these countries don't have the kind of power to do what they want to do.
Yes.
But they have the smarts. I learned today from a very intelligent person who's kind of briefed on intelligence that Iran, I didn't know this, is the third most capable country of cyber attack.
Didn't know that.
Iran?
I did not know
I don't know that for a fact. I was told from a very reliable source who has the connections in government that is one of the fears of goofing with Iran.
Yeah. I mean, we already see what happened to oil prices, so I can only imagine what else they could do if they tapped into something else.
Listen, when we come back, we have with us two leaders in our community, two people, one of them who has a vision and has a whole lot of support from people who want to see something change in our communities. We'll be right back.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo. 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.
Thank you to Hobson's, the Doctor of Dry Cleaning, and Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home for sponsoring this show. Listen, I told you we're going to have these guests on, and what I believe could be a groundbreaking organization. They're already operating in Western New York, but that could really turn around an area. You know me, doing something good, come on and share it. This might be the first time you've heard about it, although a segment of it has already been together. Got two guests with me. I know them well. One young brother, this powerful Black woman in the location. Tell them your name, brother.
I'm Kyrie Stevens. I'm the CEO and president of Intersect Buffalo.
And my sister.
And Licia Eve, and I'm here in my capacity very proudly as a consultant to Intersect Buffalo, helping them with the strategic planning process.
All right. So tell me what this is about.
Well, Intersect Buffalo is building an empowerment district, and people might be like, what is an empowerment district? Well, an empowerment district is a physically designated area of a city where you bring together people, place, capital to make sure that people have the right infrastructure, physical infrastructure, that you're equipping the people and giving them access to the opportunity and the resources for them to thrive. And then the last is making sure that there's investment and that there's deal flow and that there's money for people to be able to build their business and their personal lives.
So let's talk about that in real language, right? Because is this about an area and what is needed in an area?
Yep.
All right, tell me the area and then tell me the type of things that an empowerment, because the average person out there, you say empowerment, they have no idea, including me.
Yep. So it is, like I said, it's physically designated area. The borders are to the west. No, let's start with, the west. The west would be Fillmore. The north would be Warwick. The east would be Bailey. And then the south would be Ferry.
Now tell me, for somebody who doesn't know streets, give me what that area looks like.
I'm about to go in there. So it's
good.
So in the middle of that is you think the Delavan Grider Center. Then you think about Northland.
Okay.
You think about ECMC.
Yep.
Then you know that on Bailey, that Bank of America there.
Okay.
And then there is Harmac. But there's tons of things going on in that specific area. And the reason why we chose that area is because the people have a long-standing history. The American Axle plant is right there, old American Axle plant, which is Verity Parente now, which is a battery storage plant. And
which is
people
doing
have no idea
great.
what's going on in there. They're hiring people who look like us. They're giving
So I've been in
jobs.
there. Yeah, and when I walked in there, and I've talked about it on the radio, I never expected to see what I saw in there. And I mean, everybody, Pastor, hey, bro, blah, blah. I mean, it's amazing what goes on in there.
You go in there and you see people that are in the neighborhood. I mean, they've hired from people in the neighborhood. So that was one of the reasons why we chose that neighborhood, is because of the long history. You know, the American Axle plant was opened in 1923 or something like that. And it's been 100 years of us being in that area. You know, you think about your aunts, your uncles, your grandma, they worked in that area. They built houses. They, raised families in that area. So we wanted to make sure that we were in a space that had all of the elements to build an economic engine and all of the elements to put people in the position to own their own future, own their own houses, build their own brands, build their own businesses, and just create the generational opportunity.
But what are you bringing to the table from? And you have been doing some of this.
Yeah.
So talk about what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Because when I get over to her, you might not get this mic back because this is then going to be about vision and why somebody at her level would get involved in this. I'm going to be transparent. I want to know. I want to know the real deal.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we've already had a few town halls where we've brought people together. We've brought institutions, philanthropy, government, residents, businesses all together. It's about building a strategy on how to move forward. So I would say we're like
in
Josh
this
Allen.
area.
In this area.
area.
Specifically in this area.
You have brought together people from the area. To talk about what the area needs.
Block clubs.
You did that already.
We've done that, and we're still doing that because we're in the beginning of a strategic plan where we say, what does this look like for us to say what happens in this area? It's about the people. And it's not just about a plan. It is about how we move forward. It's not just about a plan that sits on a shelf. Like things have happened before. This is about how do we have immediate actions. The reason why we're going through this is we want to make sure we have informed decisions, data on what the people want and how to move it forward. So we're not doing something and they're like, well, how did you get to that answer? It's about the people, for the people, by the people. So it's people driven. We've already have a business accelerator. We've already put over.
What does that mean?
A business accelerator is where you have people who want to start businesses or maybe have a business already, and they need to take it to the next level. We give them we give them some mentors. We give them a curriculum, a 12-week cohort where they're doing this with other entrepreneurs because entrepreneurship gets lonely. And then at the end, they pitch for some seed money. Actually, last week, we just put a cohort of 11 businesses through 12 entrepreneurs because one business is a fiance and the fiancés they working together. And,
all right.
They actually won the pitch. They won $5,000.
Now, this is through Intersect?
This is through Intersect
Now,
Buffalo.
let me tell you how wild this is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, and I'm transparent, I asked you to give me some information, but I did not recognize it was Intersect. I saw people commenting about this on social media.
Yep.
And I saw someone commenting about the people and the things they learned.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they didn't win something, but one of the things they said was they won knowledge. There were certain things they just didn't know. So let me just bring it down. I like to go way down so that somebody who's listening. Okay, so in our community now, branding of, let's say, shirts or whatever. So if I've got a T-shirt company, I need to live in that zone?
No. So the business accelerator is not specific to just the people who live in that area.
Okay.
It's for the city of Buffalo, and 98% of the people who've come through the business accelerator have been black.
Wow.
And 96% of them have been black women. So it's which falls into the trends of what is going on in America.
And black men know about it.
Absolutely. There's tons of black men who are in this.
So this show I ain't doing just information. We're gonna dig deep.
Yep.
Why do you think that you don't have as much participation from black males as black females?
Well, I think that the black women are quicker to move on the information.
Okay.
There is an application process that they jump on. And then I think that sometimes black men, just
I ain't trying to get you in trouble.
No, I'm gonna tell you, I know because I'm a black man. Sometimes we feel like, well, what do they know? Like I could do this.
This is the honest truth.
Yeah.
I was thinking that in my head,
Yeah.
like as a black man, there's certain things that we do, and you be like, I already got this. All right, what y'all gonna
I'm already making money.
So here's the point.
Uh-huh.
What can you teach me that I don't know?
Yeah.
Some of the things that you all bring to the table that people don't know.
So does a person know who their customer should be, like based on what they do? Do they know the value proposition is, meaning how much money they actually are, what they bring to the table? Do they know if they're actually making money or not? Because you could be selling things
Absolutely.
and only making a couple dollars based on what how
So
you
all
put
this
that together.
happens in this.
Yeah, it's a 12-week curriculum.
And how
that
much
they
do
go
people have to
through.
pay?
Nothing.
Zero.
This is for we've been doing all of this for
and I'm
free.
gonna interject.
Go ahead. We love it.
So Bishop, when I first started having the honor and privilege of supporting Intersect Buffalo, I sat in one of these classes on a Tuesday night for the full 2 hours.
Just to observe?
Just to observe and to understand. If
Okay.
I'm going to help the organization, I need to understand and feel what they experience. And I said to myself, this is 12 weeks of expert advice, volunteers from all different types of major financial institutions, lawyers, marketing experts, all of whom have said, you know what? We're going to support this effort. We're not going to charge you. We want to be part of what Intersect is seeking to do. I sat in that class and I said, this 12-week course is worth thousands of dollars.
Absolutely.
If I were not turning 62, but turning 32, I would pay to be in this course if I could, and yet it costs nothing. And it's a tremendous opportunity, and as Kyrie mentioned, I think how many small business owners have now gone through the program?
Over 130 of them have gone through.
So since you have spoken, I got to ask you now. First of all, the Atlanta audience needs to know who you are. What do you do?
Well,
Not with the organization. Period. I want them to hear.
Very long story short. So I've been around for a while. I'm a lawyer by training, policy wonk. I've worked for 2 United States senators. I was Hillary Clinton's first Senate counsel. I was counsel to Joe Biden 30-some years ago. I was the chief economic development advisor to the former governor of the state of New York. And I've also been in the private sector as a senior exec at Verizon and also practiced law. I graduated from, can't believe it, Harvard Law School in 1990 and the Kennedy School the same year. But more recently, I've been consulting. One of my clients is the largest public utility in the nation, the New York Power Authority. And the other client, which is a labor of love for me, is Intersect Buffalo.
Why? Now, you have traveled with presidents. You have advised multi-billion-dollar companies. And you decided to be a part of this.
And I should also say I'm proudly, by virtue of appointment of Governor Hochul, I am chair of the board of directors of Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Institute, the first woman and the first person of color in its 100-plus year history to chair.
Which, by the way, they're rocking.
Yeah, an honor to do it. People think I get paid. No, I'm a volunteer, and it's a labor of love. First of all and foremost, I believe in the mission of Intersect, and I believe in this young man. Who could be doing lots of other things.
Absolutely.
Making a whole lot more money, spending more time with his lovely children and his bride. But his commitment, when we first sat down, this is true, I actually started crying.
Really?
Because I said, you know what? You remind me of my father.
Wow. Yeah.
So I believe in the mission first and foremost, because it's got to be about the mission. It can't be about an individual. I believe in the mission. And I believe that he's an extraordinary leader who has pulled together a rock star board of directors of other committed Western New Yorkers who have way too much to do, but they also believe in the mission. And they also believe that this is real and can be transformative for, yes, the greater Delavan-Grider area, the Empowerment District, but also can be a model for what should be happening across the east side, across the city of Buffalo.
Now, empowerment districts, and we're going to talk a little bit about who's on the board, if you don't mind, because I think that working together works, as one of our listeners always says. An empowerment zone, is that decided by a government or by the organization?
Well, for us, it was decided by the organization.
Okay.
So we are working with government to have that physical designation. And, Zanetta Everhart, who is the councilwoman for that district and is also on our board, is like A1. It's like, yes, we're going to get that
that's her flavor.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the empowerment zone is there. Now, you do some other things, and then I do want to talk about the board. It's not just about that one thing. No. And let me say this, and this is no shade to any other organization, but I know one of the organizations who is doing some type of economic economic stuff out of the state. We're giving away, we give you $1 million, you come here for a year. And that was for people outside of the state to come, and I got it. Might not been the biggest fan of it, but I got it. I'm more of a fan of how do we help the people who are here in this city, and let them go out to another city if that's what they choose, but how do we get our own people up? Yeah. So I know you have that. What else does Intersect, are they concentrating on?
So we have 4 E's. The first E is economics, which includes workforce, entrepreneurship, and financial empowerment, because you can get the money, but if you're not financially literate and know how to work with, it's just going to go out the door. The second E is education, which includes arts and trades, and that's why Northland Workforce Training Center there. The third E is equity, which is the social determinants of health. Did you know that in 14215, people are dying 10 to 15 years earlier than anywhere else in the city because of the social determinants of health and, all of those things. So we're focused on that. And then the last one, which is my favorite, and I think the most important is engagement. It's about the people. How are we getting them to the table, utilizing their voice, understanding that I would say that they need to put their hands to the plow to pull up the weeds, to plant what they want to see grow in their community and cultivate what's already there. So community engagement is about getting us out to vote, getting us to trust one another and to support one another, kind of like when I talk about an empowerment district, I'm talking about what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the Greenwood district when they had everything they needed there to
And
thrive.
when you say they, so not
Right.
everybody knows this is a black community.
Black community.
All black businesses.
And what were they missing?
They weren't missing anything. So what are we missing here?
Yeah.
But the Klan came and burned it down.
Got it.
Right.
So
the thing that I saw the opportunity was that we had all of this great stuff going on here. We had ECMs, all of there, but there was no entity that woke up in the morning and thought about how all of this worked together to move us in a strategic way where it's not just buckshotting. So the investment will go further, so that people will trust one another, so that people will know what's going on and they'll know that they're a part of it.
So two things. I may have asked that question wrong. When they put that district together, what were they missing? Because you talk about the businesses, the hospitals, cleaners, all that kind of stuff, right? So
who put what district?
I'm talking about Tulsa.
Okay.
Before there was a district, what was missing?
It was the people. It was about the people. It was about the people coming and saying that we're just going to do this. We're going to support one another. We're going to.
That was missing.
Yeah, that was the thing that was missing. Once they said we're going to do that, that's what happened. And what this is, the reason why we're putting this and focusing our time, talent, and resources in a specific geographic location is so that people can have the pride of that being right there, the history of that, and you can track the metrics, and you can say it's big enough. It's big enough where people can be a part, can track it, but it's small enough so people can be a part of and have pride in that.
So I have a note here, and I put the word secrecy. Now let me tell you why. Our community, by and large, has a really tough time trusting organizations, even if they look like how, and you said it, but I want to dig now. How are you going to show them? Because this is a big talk right now about 514 and where is the money. I truly don't believe that we should have to ask that. I think it should be there.
Yeah.
In your face. And there was one person, I don't know who to give credit to, that did a tremendous job in laying it all out in an easy read fashion that says this was put here, this is what is gone for. How are you going to be different in that way?
Well, thank you so much, Bishop, for that question. And Kyrie and the board and I couldn't agree with you more. So he mentioned the strategic planning process that
which is new too.
Yes.
I mean, not new, but different for some organizations.
That is underway. And, that sounds like consultant speak. Here's what that means at the end of the day. What is going to be foundational to the details of what the empowerment district looks like, its specific purposes, specific programs, is going to be determined not by Kyrie, not by me, not by the board, but the residents and the businesses who call the district home. And so how do you get that information? Well, you do it lots of different ways, but the strategic planning process that we are using that just recently commenced and phase 1 is going to go through July. It is going to be already is quite an intense process and a quick process. The second and final phase is the summer into the fall. This first phase is about gathering as much community input as possible. We are releasing a survey that's going to be digital, but also people can fill it out at Juneteenth.
Because I heard you're going to be at Juneteenth.
Oh, I will be tabling.
So you're physically going to be at Juneteenth to hear people's opinions.
Yes, they're going to be filling out a survey, but we also have focus groups, 9 different focus groups, young boys, teens, and young men. Same thing on the female side. Seniors, new Americans. We're a growing segment of our community. And yes, there's tensions there, but we're not going to shy away from that.
Yes.
Renters who want to become homeowners, thinking through and talking through their challenges, as well as small business owners and entrepreneurs. And last but certainly not least, a cohort of our fellow brothers and sisters that people often overlook, organizations often overlook, and that is single heads of households, which is women and men. You address the issues of single heads of households, you cut through and address a lot of the poverty issues that are confronting our community, and you can really make some significant advances. So
I love it.
I've asked some experts who is focusing on single heads of households,
Yeah.
men or women, and multiple different people who are experts in their field have said, Licia, no one. I said, well, that's changing with Intersect Buffalo.
Well, what is good, and I know Intersect is a nonpartisan. This is not Republican or nonprofit. This is about community help, right? But I think that people need to know what they should be advocating for, even on the political side, because when you have the governor just in this budget say we need to educate young children, like that's a big deal for us because you have a single parent who now they don't have, and not just as a babysitter, but to give that child a good start in life. And sometimes we're so focused on a pothole that we miss the craters of our government and what we're not providing. So I know you won't be partisan, but will it be political?
So this is what I say we do. We do 4 things. We convene, we coordinate collaboration, we amplify the good, and then we advocate for the best interests of the district. So when it comes to education or those areas, we are going to advocate like no other, because in this district is where I grew up, is where my mother-in-law is where my father's house still is where my sister is. So I'm not advocating for a people. I'm advocating for my people.
Okay.
So it's different when people advocate, we want to help those people. No, this is not those people. This is my people. I can say personally, these are my people. So when it comes to any of those things, we're going to talk to anybody. We're going to talk to the government, whoever has the ability to make real substantive change. We are going to be talking to them, we're going to be working with them, and we're going to be making sure that the people's voice is not just heard, but it is stamped on what's moving forward.
Who's financing?
So right now, we had our first funder was the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus gave us our initial funding. We have gotten some state dollars.
Let me say this, good. Get some money from
Yes. Yes.
And I mean that in a very positive way, in that I know why that organization was put together.
Sure.
And at the end of the day, if we're going to help our people, as long as it ain't coming from an illegal source, but I think it's important to say who's funding it, because rumors will go around, and I want to be clear.
Yeah. I would love to say that the Oshai Foundation gave us money to start our strategic plan. We have some money from the state. The Black Legislative Task Force just gave us some money. So and we're still fundraising. So like I said, everything that we've done has been for free. And but we are continuing to raise money. We're continuing to make sure that we have a long runway, because we don't want to be like the typical nonprofit who is always chasing funding. So we have in our strategic plan, we're thinking about how to have income generating assets that throw off cash in order to be able to sustain us, so we can continue to do our funding. Like that's some of the model that I learned as an executive for 8 years at the Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus, was that real estate and parking paid for a lot of things that helped to do things, so they didn't have to chase after other dollars. And that's what we need to have in our community, is we need to be able to be the purveyors of our own truth by being able to be economically stable, not just as an organization, but as a community. So we're the first partakers of that.
Well, we're almost out of time, but I got to talk about this board. All volunteers.
Yes.
And they come from all walks of life.
Yes, Trina Barres, head of the United Way. You've got Hugh
Black
Russ,
woman,
former head of the Erie County Bar Association Foundation. Zanetta Everhart, the Maston District City Council person. We have a new board member. I'm not a member of the board, but I proudly serve the Board of Management, who is in charge of a good swath of the community policing efforts that have been productive on the east side of Buffalo. Beth Gelgenio. Yes, from UB. So it's a collection of our fellow Buffalonians in Western New York who have a demonstrated commitment in lots of different spaces
Let's not forget
and-
Shamari James.
Shamari James,
and,
yes,
and then
awesome.
and Matthew Ensis, Pat Kilcullen. So that rounds out the board. So I'm sorry, if you want to jump in, I want to throw it out.
I don't want to miss no board member. They be like, you ain't mentioned my name on the radio.
No, we don't got those type. They bout it.
Yeah. And so these are folks that who went to you all went to, and
I hunted it down. I made sure that
He was relentless.
I was,
Was he?
and that's what they talk about. Was I'm not going to take no for an answer for our community. We need to have people who, number one, I trust that they have the best interest at heart for the community. Number two, they've done some things before and they can steward some stuff and guide me in that. And then the third thing is it brings some validity, some immediate validity to what we are doing because of the nature of the board and the prestige of who is doing, and not just for name's sake and name only, but really have done some things that have helped us to move forward.
So the second we talked about the job, the entrepreneur piece. Mm-hmm. Is there a piece you're working on right now that is soon to be presented?
Oh, we got tons of things that are soon to be presented.
Give me one of the biggest.
One of the biggest is, of course, IC Success 2, which is the growth lab for the next level of entrepreneurs. I get more into that, but working with Green Force, which is a workforce organization that actually my brother was one of the people that we have helped to put through that and got him a job. I mean, meaningful numbers.
What does that mean?
Green Force is you go through this program. They teach you about advanced manufacturing for Verity Parente and for others. So they train you. It's on-the-job training. It's a workforce thing, but you don't go for a long time. You do it in like 2-3 weeks. They put you through, and then they find you a job. They don't just train you. They help to find you a job. And so that has changed the trajectory, literally, of my brother's life, who was working at Amazon. Now he has this job after 3 weeks of going through this, and he just had another baby. So again, I say I'm working for my own people to make sure that this is happening. So there's tons of things going on. And then again, back to the strategic plan, which is really, really important because it helps us to inform how we're going to be doing a lot more of other things in those 4 areas. That
Give me the social media sites that somebody could go to right now to look at what
Intersect. On our website is www.intersectbuffalo.org. Our Facebook is Intersect Buffalo. On Instagram and TikTok and everything else, Twitter.
You on TikTok too?
Man, I'm dancing on TikTok. All that is Intersect Buff.
And if I may say, Bishop, I want to make sure it's old school email.
Yeah.
But Intersect has set up an email for me. Anybody listening, whether you live in the Empowerment District or not, if you live anywhere, frankly, in the east side of Buffalo, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
So just email me directly, L-Eve, so L-E-V-E for Lucia Eve at intersectbuffalo.org. And if I just may say two brief things, Bishop. One is we are moving with extreme intentionality, intensity, and speed to wrap up the strategic plan, heavily informed by the community in a matter of months, that is going to have short-term, medium-term, and long-term priorities. My father, the former Deputy Speaker of the New York State Assembly, would often say to my brothers and me when we were growing up, you measure what you value. You measure what you value. You don't measure it, you're telling me you're not valuing it. In this strategic plan, Intersect will be measuring itself. We will have what consultants call KPIs, key performance indicators. That will be in the plan. On the website, the community will be holding us accountable. There will be a level of transparency that people are not accustomed to seeing, but will be welcoming of receiving it. And, as Kyrie said at the outset, he wouldn't be invested, I wouldn't be invested in this, frankly, representing my mother in heaven, my big brother in heaven, and my father who's still on earth. We wouldn't be invested if we didn't believe that this was really about transformative change. Yes, there's some things that are going to take a minute, but the plan is going to have elements of it that focus on what can we accomplish in the first 6 months of execution? What can we accomplish in the first 12 months, the 18 months of execution? So community residents and businesses see, okay, I guess some of the medium-term and long-term things will take a minute, but I am now beginning to really see
Yeah.
and feel the change that is underway, that I, as a community resident, played a role in determining what it should be, and I, as a community resident, am playing a role in making it happen.
And benefiting from it.
So a person who wants to be involved, how would they do that?
So they can contact us at info@intersectbuffalo.org. They can hit us up on Facebook. They can hit us up on, any way that you get your information. Just go to Intersect Buffalo, and you'll be able to find it. Search
Everything
Intersect
is
Buffalo.
Intersect Buffalo.
Intersect
Intersect
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
And LEVE at intersectbuffalo.org. Thank you. We will be visiting houses of worship.
You're going to come
with
to
the
ours?
survey.
Yeah.
We Kyrie and I will be there at an appropriate time that you designate. We're going to have the surveys with us. It'll take 5 minutes for people to fill out if they want to be part of a focus group, whether they're a senior, member of Block Club, etc. All this is
This is a
taking
lot of
place
work for volunteers.
I've
I've never seen this amount of work in recent times from volunteers, so I commend you.
But we have an army of volunteers. I want to be transparent with you.
I like, but I appreciate that. But this
Yeah.
is where people get all messed up
Yeah.
because we're not very transparent sometimes, and they feel like, why can't we know this? That information is power.
Right.
Some people are going to complain regardless. I don't care what it is.
Right.
Keep the focus. Do what God sent you to do, and that's it.
And listen, I've assembled, because I'm one person, I've been in the economic development space for governors, United States senators for 3+ decades. I've assembled some of the sharpest people across this nation, most of whom never been in Buffalo, but they met him. They have faith that if I'm saying this is an organization that I need you to kind of do what you do and don't charge $1, but charge 2 cents to be a part of, and they are. So former economic development advisor for 3 different mayors in this country is a member of the consulting team. One of the best data analytics professionals in the country, who is a young man who calls Buffalo home and is of the community, is a member of the team. Eva Hassett, one of the finest GIS mapping persons I've ever dealt with, is a member of the team. He's based in Atlanta. So we put together this amazing team to support Intersect Buffalo. We do plan to develop an army of volunteers, primarily from the community, and to help put the meat on the bones of the plan and to help with executing it. And so that this time next year, no later than this time next year, the plan will be done, but people will begin to see and feel change happening.
Well, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for honoring Power to the People and spending a little time with us, letting us.
Thank you,
introduce this.
Bishop, for giving us the
Yeah,
opportunity.
I learned a lot. In transparency, we had talked about it. I just don't have I didn't have enough room on the plate. But now I understand it more, and I want to thank you for letting God lead you and for caring about our community.
Amen.
I encourage you, as somebody who's been pastoring 31 years, been a part, is to keep the focus.
Yes.
Don't be distracted. I always say there is nothing that I have accomplished that I did not have pushback, that I did not have doubters, that I did not have detours. But there's something about having that persistence and being like, I'm not dying until you got to tell death you won't even get me until I get this done.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
And nobody
Amen.
gives an award for doing normal.
Yes, sir.
You will never get a plaque because you just did normal stuff. Always takes that trailblazer to go, I see it, I believe it, and I'm going to do it. So I encourage you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Listen, we've got to go. Until next week,
Power to the people.